Sunday, recovery day. I've had a big week of training. 6 days of good two session a day training days. And I've just finished 3.5 hours of gardening and I'm stuffed. So I always just do a little bit of foam rolling on my days off. I find it really helps. And I don't recommend anybody train 7 days a week. If you're serious about your training and you get a decent amount of volume in at a decent enough intensity like I do, I highly recommend having one recovery day a week where you do nothing more than, just some housework or a swim or, a walk, whatever. And one of my absolute favourite stretches to do is this one. This is definitely what I would classify as like a relaxation stretch. But it's really, really important. This is doing the opposite of what we do way too much of, which is, sitting like this on our devices. Rounded thoracic spine, protracted shoulders, protracted shoulder blades, rounded shoulder posture. And so this is really just reversing that. Getting some lovely extension through the thoracic spine, retracting the shoulder blades, opening up the chest. It's a really, really good one. Oh, all right. So I'm going to do a little bit of trigger point release now on my shoulder. So I'll just get my lacrosse physio ball. And I'm going to get down into my rotator cuff. I've had slap tears in both shoulders. This one was worse, and this one recently I aggravated. And funnily enough, this is the stronger arm, way more. There's more, you can feel there's more muscle mass in this arm. And what happened was when I was doing my pike push-ups, working towards one of my goals this year of a handstand push-up, I was really favouring this stronger side, which meant I just put too much load in it and tore a couple of the muscles. And so that was about 2 weeks ago, so I'm almost back to full capabilities again. Muscle tears don't last that long. Even severe muscle tears are usually healed within 6 weeks. So as long as the muscle's still attached. So people think muscle tears are these terrible, horrible things, and they're pretty common and pretty easy to rehabilitate. So I've just been focusing on structural balance training, rehabilitating that shoulder, and majorly focusing on bringing up the strength of this shoulder so that I can not overload my strong side anymore, and so that I can try and close the gap between a strong side and a not so strong side. And I don't have too many. There's a good one. That's the first one I found. Too many sore spots today, which is good. That means it's definitely progressing. And because I'm trying to hit the external rotators, moving the arm through internal and external rotation can be beneficial. Oh, all right. Let's try this side. Let's see what I can find. So you're really just I'm just putting the ball down in the general area of where my external rotators are, and finding sore spots. And there's actually a couple. I found one almost straight away over this side. And then you just put as much pressure as you can into that spot. for about 10 seconds, and then you get a bit of a release. And these are the kinds of things that, you know, I do a little bit of this every day. If you watch my daily workouts, I always do a little bit, but I just give it a little bit more on my day off. Oof. And I'll do a little bit on my chest, front of my shoulder. See if I can find anything here. Oh, there we go. Oh. And then when you find that spot, you just really put some weight in there. Oh. Do the other side now. See if there's anything there. Oh, the other side feels pretty good. Let's give it a little bit of love. All right. And now I'll go onto my back. There's often a lot of little hidden gems in my back where I don't even realize how tight it is. But these things are, you know, when you don't deal with them, it can really creep up on you, and all of a sudden you wake up one morning and you only have half the range of motion when you're rotating to your right as you do when you're rotating to your left. And for me, that's usually a trip to the chiropractor, and I'll get some adjustments and get back on my feet. And some of my friends who are chiropractors, like when I go and get adjustments with them and they talk about how there's a rib out and they'll, you know, readjust it. They say often you can do that yourself with a physio ball. So, you know, even doing this stuff here and there, you can often just save yourself a trip to the chiropractor or the sports physio. Definitely works for me. Oh, this is quite tender. God, everything's sore today for me. I've got real DOMs. Got DOMs in my legs. I did a sand run on the beach on Friday with a friend of mine. I've only done probably 2 sand runs in the last 10 years, I reckon. So my legs are sore. If you've never done a sand run before, they're considerably more challenging than running on a road. Oh, see, my left side is not even nearly as tender as my right side, which is something to be aware of, you know, something you want to know. You want to know if you're going to need to put a little bit of effort and care into a part of your body in the next week. So for me, I'm thinking, okay, I better give myself a bit of attention on the right side next week in my warm-ups with my trigger point release. Oh, there's one. Oh. I'll do one more. I'll just try on my lat. Because lats can get really tight and store. And lats really contribute a lot to shoulder pain. Especially like shoulder pain associated with lifting your arms up overhead. All right, now it's time to move on to dealing with this golfer's elbow and tennis elbow. So I'll start by dealing with my golfer's elbow. So I just gotta, this is not the only thing I do for golfer's elbow, by the way, if you're only watching this video. I do, this is like the icing on the cake, honestly. All the exercises that I do are by far the most important part of dealing with golfer's elbow. But this is a nice bit of icing on the cake. Just flossing on my muscles and getting some trigger point release in there. I'm using this arm here, my left arm, to apply pressure, to get more pressure on the ball. And then I'm just moving down my arm through the wrist flexors. And then for that tennis elbow. In all honesty, this one's actually better when I do it on the wall. But you can still get it like this. It's awkward. Oh, that's brutal, that one right there. Ooh. Oh. It's really, oh man, that feels good. It feels like you've just had a really, really intense sports massage on that one part of your body. If you don't do this stuff, and if you've got issues in your body, which, let's face it, most of us have, it's a really good thing to do, even if you just do it once a week. And I personally strive to make exercise a daily thing for myself, but because I want to have a recovery day on Sunday instead of exercising, I use the same time to just do this, a recovery session. Not very long, however long this video goes for when it's finished is literally how long I spend on my body today. And if I don't have niggling injuries or anything like what I've got right now, oh my God, as soon as I get to this one spot, woo! If I don't have niggling injuries, then I'll just do some mobility work. Oh man. It's quite, this is really uncomfortable. I was going to say painful, and it's on the verge of being painful. This is like when the masseuse is saying, is that okay? And you're almost wanting to tell them, no, it's not, it's too hard, but you know that it's going to be good for you. And so you're just saying, no, that's fine. Oh. Oh. And that's it for me today. Really just focusing on the areas that, for me, it's all here. I'm just getting hammered through my arms with all the calisthenics I'm doing. So it's this, just managing it, managing being able to train 6 days a week where I'm using my upper body on every training session. You know, training at a reduced intensity, but still, you know, preventing, I should say, overuse injuries like tennis elbow and golfer's elbow and, you know, rotator cuff tears and things like that, preventing that stuff from being bad enough that it stops you from training. It's this big balancing act. Anyway, that's it for me for Sunday. I'll see you in tomorrow's workout. Monday, new week.